I know that this first topic is near and dear to your heart, so let's get right into it. After months of speculation, we finally have the official name of Cleveland's WNBA team. It is not what many people thought it was going to be, which was the original name, the Rockers. They are beginning a whole new era, and they are officially known as the Cleveland Sirens.
Can you guys hear the call? This was 13 months in the making, to be exact. We have been waiting, and yes, it is the Cleveland Sirens. I really like the name. It pays tribute to our biggest asset, which is Lake Erie. I like that they didn't go with Lady Cavaliers. They didn't choose to use the colors of the Cavaliers. They want to be their own team. I love it. The logo, I would take it or leave it. It's not great to me, but the name Sirens, it's based off mythology and the water and a lot with like Poseidon and stuff like that.
You are getting into my language, and I'll go there in a minute.
So I love it. I personally like that they didn't bring back the name Rockers because I don't really have any association with that name. And also I feel like, a lot of things in Cleveland use the rock and roll stuff, and I get it. We have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and rock and roll is big in this city, but do something different. Like, there's more to Cleveland than just the Rock Hall. I love it. It ties right into one of our other tenants, the Cleveland Monsters. That's, lore. And they play at Rocket Arena. That's where the Sirens are going to play. So I'm all for it. Currently, I'm a Minnesota Lynx fan, but I can tell you this right now. When the Sirens start in 2028, they will be my team.
Go ahead, Fitz.
So did either of you happen to, growing up, read Percy Jackson and Olympians by Rick Riordan? I just want to ask that question first.
Nope.
Well, I did.
Might have.
I am a big Greek mythology guy, so it took me a minute to kind of just process, get everything that they had put together behind the scenes. And Josh, you took basically my whole spiel and just already used it. The Lake Erie part of it, the Greek mythology. Again, like I am big on Greek mythology. I know that Riordan also did a crossover of sorts with Greek and Roman. I won't get into that, but I really like it. I really like the blue. As you said, I thought I would have been fine if they went Rockers, but I like the Sirens. It just kind of, and with the mythology of it, can kind of lull you in, and then there you go. There's a whole lot of stuff, and I don't know if it'll be seen in something like the Odyssey. I have not seen it. But if you know your Greek mythology, you know what I'm probably referring to.
So I'm going to take a different approach.
Oh, boo, Bird. Boo.
Boo!
It's not even about the name, guys, because I don't care about the name, because I don't even care about the team. I'm going to be honest with you. Cleveland has already 3 professional sports teams, and 2 of them are already significantly undercovered in the local media here in Cleveland.
You mean the Guardians and
the Cavaliers? They are both significantly
decently covered during their
They
season.
are both significantly undercovered compared to what they should be.
Yeah, and unfortunately, part of that's due to the staff cuts a couple of years ago at the Athletic that let Kelsey.
No. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the local radio.
Hold on.
I'm talking about the local radio that is here in Cleveland that covers the teams. they are significantly undercovered. And you guys know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
So this WNBA team is already going to be going up in football season against the most popular team in town, regardless of how good or bad they are. And they're also going to be going up against, presumably in 2028, what we hope with a bigger payroll will be the Major League Baseball team. And by the way, I would argue that when the guards are good, they are, in Cleveland's history the last 30 years, the second most important team in town, and the Cavs are third, minus the LeBron James there. So what I'm saying is, I understand why the WNBA is doing it. I understand why Cleveland is getting a team, why Detroit's getting a team, why these other NBA markets are getting a team. And I think there will be some level of support.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not think that this is going to be all of a sudden become a massive WNBA crowd. Now, if we get a star, if we would get Caitlin Clark, there's a difference. But if there is no star, then I'm sorry, there's not going to be much interest in this team. There is a reason why.
Oh, quit being the negative, man.
No. Brandon's got a point. I see where he's coming from. I was
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Let me add here.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, let me add here.
So
this was something that was a bit of a concern for me, was how long does it take for all the fan interest to come in? And I feel like there's going to be at least stronger than I think we're anticipating, at least originally. But to Brandon's point, and one I really agree with, I think it'll take getting the right kind of a superstar to come in. I'm not saying necessarily Caitlin Clark, but someone who's gritty, kind of just represents the city, almost like and I hate to, use male athletes to compare this to, but like your Jose's, your Nick Chubbs, if you want to use a Olympian more so, like Katie Moon from Olmsted Falls. But those are the types of people that, you would need in a star to hopefully be able to help, along with, I don't know if they're going to have the first overall pick, depending on if there's going to be more than one. Yeah. But basically what I'm trying to say here is, if you can get one established star within the first, let's say, 3 years of play, right? I think that will really help, because that's when I think folks who are more like what's the word I'm looking for here?
Casual,
more fair weather will be able to really like latch on.
Well,
but, like that's the only part where like
I'll add this as well. Weirdly, I think the team's success will depend on the success of the Cavs. Really? Because I think if the Cavs are not in consistent playoff contention, if the core four blows up and whatever you may have you, and they're not as good as they have been, I actually think that
thinks Harden's gone.
I think that will help. Well, we'll get to the NBA in a minute, but I think that will help the WNBA team, because again, Josh.
I'm trying not to go off on both of you right now.
This part I disagree with, Josh, with what Brandon's saying. The only part I agreed with was the star factor part.
I'm sorry, guys.
To not explode on both
guys,
of you
this team is not going to do that well. It's not.
We realize that. It's not going to go well right at the not in the first few seasons. It's an
okay. You haven't been paying attention then. Because the Golden State Valkyries came in. They did it in the last. They came in.
Okay, but that's Golden State. Who else do they have to compete in their own market? They have no one else competing with them. All their teams left.
They have the Warriors. They have
exactly.
No,
it's the same.
No,
and they don't even have the Warriors, Josh. They're in San Francisco now.
Golden State.
Hold on.
Raiders,
hold on.
They all left Oakland.
Hold on.
No,
you're both wrong.
They moved across the bay to San Fran.
The Golden State Valkyries play in the Chase Center where the Warriors play.
I understand that, but we're saying basketball to basketball. I'm talking about this WNBA team in Cleveland has, by the way, they're going to be the 5th team on the totem pole now if you include the Monsters in this own city.
And there's going to be either women's or men's pro team for soccer.
That's actually going to be That's going to be a minor league team, from what I understand.
But still affiliated with the MLS, right? Basically.
And MLS next.
My point is, I think if this team was in Columbus, I think they would do amazing. I'm not doubting the impact of the WNBA. I'm doubting the market they're in, specifically this market, because of the teams that are already established here, because we have maybe one of the most well-run and most consistent baseball teams in the country, and nobody talks about them until they might be a playoff team in September. And we all know it, guys.
And that's,
okay, wait, hold on. You're saying that we need a superstar or a star caliber player. No, we don't. No. You are.
So why should I go to the arena then? What am I seeing? Because here's the other point too.
You're brand new
now
team.
I have to learn. Now I have to learn a whole new league. Now I have to go out of my way to learn a whole new league.
And that's the point that Brandon, you need someone to help pull you in.
You'll want to learn about the team.
What's going to be the hook? What's the incentive? What's the cookie? You need to have that. And
okay, 2028 is going to be their inaugural season.
What's the why, Josh? What is the why? That is what I'm actually asking you. What is the why? What is the draw? Why should I want to go see this new team?
We both have sports administration minors, by the way. I don't know if you did or did not, Josh. That's why we're kind of getting at this.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I vehemently disagree with both of you. Golden State, hold on.
No, I just want to know.
Golden State doesn't matter in this.
No, yes, it does.
Take them out. Take them out. They're an anomaly. Take them out.
The Valkyries didn't, when they came in, they didn't have a star player right away. And
Josh,
yet,
let me rephrase this question to you.
Came in. Toronto just came in. Toronto and Portland. Hold on, not done. Toronto and Portland both came in. Neither of them have star caliber players, and yet their fans are still showing up. So fans are going to show up whether you have a star player. It definitely helps if you get a star caliber player. That part I understand. Yes. But if your team gets off to a strong start, and even if they start slow, you're still going to be building up your fan base. People are going to want to see when the Las Vegas Aces come to town, because they're one of the best teams in the WNBA. People are going to want to come to when Caitlin Clark is in town, when the Minnesota Lynx are in town. There you go.
Josh, I'm going to throw this question back at you.
Go.
What is it going to take for fans to be interested in? This is outside of us three here, right? All of us here are interested in sports. But that's not the same for everybody. The same incentive does not apply across the board. That's what you have to think here, is that if you're trying to build a long-term relationship with your fan base, with a developing fan base, that's what we're trying to get at. That's why you need the hook. That's the why. If you want a why to come, most people are not going to just want to learn. I'm using the words that you said, want to learn the league, right? They are not going to want to learn. Now, if you have a draw, something to help bring in a crowd, that will be the trigger towards helping. And obviously winning is going to help. That point, I think we all agree on. The problem is that you need, again, remove the three of us from this discussion. Imagine we know nothing about sports. If we know nothing, what's our why? We don't have a draw outside of Caitlin Clark. That one we all agree on. Probably more than likely than not. There's no other real draw. So if you start off and you're not, really doing super well, you're kind of middling, let's say. That's where we're getting at, is that you need to have, I'm not saying in that year one per se, but you need to be able to eventually attract and land a superstar. And that will be when you really get people, because not everyone wants to learn. There's some people who just go and just may remain, for lack of better terms, ignorant. You need to have a draw. You need to have a reason for fans to want to learn why they should care. That's what we're trying to get at.
Well, let me add real quick, because this has nothing to do with Cleveland. This is about the WNBA in general. Because, Josh, you know this. Fitz, I pitched, and Josh, I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago on the show, but I said essentially, and I'm forgetting the name of the WNBA commissioner. I apologize off the top of my head. But I essentially said, you know what I would do if I was the WNBA operations? I would temporarily merge my operations with the NBA. And however you wanted to do it, if you wanted to make Silver the commissioner of both, if you wanted to make Mark Tatum like the WNBA commissioner, I would basically take the two brands because they're already merged in certain ways. They're merged with the NBA Cares, they're merged with the NBA 2K video game and all of that. I would merge both of those brands essentially together and have the NBA operations and marketing departments market and run the WNBA, because that's the only way they are going to get to the level, because clearly they're not embracing literally their biggest star they've ever had, who 2 years ago was setting record-breaking viewership. 2 years ago, she was the lead-in person on various talk shows around the country, including this one. And now, I don't want to say she's an afterthought because she's finally healthy. And Josh, me and you talked about last week the fact the WNBA All-Star Game attendance-wise beat out the NBA All-Star Game this year, and I think she had a lot to do with that. But that's the type of level that the WNBA is going to take to get to the next level.
Okay. First of all, the players we draft in the expansion draft aren't necessarily going to be the players that we actually go out onto the court with to start the.
We understand that.
You could trade for players. There could be a top star in college that we end up drafting. You don't know. So maybe some of the players we bring in end up becoming star caliber players.
To be fair, I never said it was a definite, it's going to be a complete failure. I just said it's going to be a lot more of an uphill battle than you think it's going to be.
The fan base
fact that the Guardians team that's always been better than the Browns cannot get more than maybe 1 minute on one of the two radio stations we are referring to, that's a problem that that not only the Cavs, but the Sirens are going to have to overcome. And that's honestly, and I'm going to keep things as PG here as possible, pathetic by those stations.
All right, well, guys, we got to move on to our next topic.
That part, I agree with you, Fitz. Fitz, I do agree with you about that
We
part.
got to move on.
I will say that.